thought and reread over this so many times. How do I share my testimony? What do I say? But God has put this onto my heart to share. If you don't know me, I'm Carly, and I'm 14 years old. I was baptized as a baby, but ever since God saved my life, I've been wanting to get baptized again. I've always known about a God, but not the God, my Father. I didn't know anything about Jesus. All I remember is always rereading my children's Bible, but I didn't understand it. I never had a relationship with God until I surrendered my life to Him. Because of this, the enemy attacked me in many ways. I always felt like I was alone and nobody understood me, until I found Jesus, of course. I didn't feel loved or anything. I got introduced to lust at a young age. People would show me and say so many inappropriate things, and I fell into lust. I thought people doing sexual things was love. Then I started to get anxiety and depression. I went into middle school excited, but knowing nothing about God. I still always felt alone, unloved, and scared. That's when depression and anxiety got the best of me. I didn't want to accept the fact that I was depressed. The summer of 2024 is when the enemy was throwing punches at me. I started harming myself and cutting. I never understood why people would hurt themselves until I did. And then I got broken up with, and my family found out about me cutting myself, so I stopped. But I still always wanted to cut myself, and I was still depressed. I went back to school and put a smile on my face. I acted like I was okay, but was truly depressed. On September 2nd, 2024, I got my Bible. I had no relationship with God, no prayer life, nothing. I didn't know how to read my Bible or anything. I'd try to read it like a book, but I barely and rarely read it. I would read it once a month or go even longer. I distracted myself with worldly things, and I got back into the same relationship I was in, but I kept cutting myself. I still felt unloved, and I was very lukewarm. There were times when I would write my goodbye letters, but I didn't go through with it. I didn't tell anybody, but little did I know God was the one stopping me. Months passed, and soon enough, school ended. But through those months, I was still hurting myself and dealing with depression and anxiety. I promised and promised I wouldn't hurt myself again. I never read my Bible, and I never talked to God. All this led up to June 29th, 2025, the worst and best day of my life. The night before, on June 28th, I got grounded and I cut myself again. The next morning, I got broken up with. I decided that my life wasn't worth living for anymore. I wrote a very short letter saying my goodbyes. At the bottom of the letter, I wrote, "Forgive me, God." I texted my close friends and told them I loved them. I grabbed something that was similar and could work like a rope. I tied it around my neck and laid down next to the letter. I remember slowly losing feeling in my body, my vision going dark, the pain, bitterness, and frustration I felt. I kept trying and trying, but it wouldn't work. I went out into my kitchen and grabbed a bottle of pills. I went back to my room and sat down. I grabbed a handful of pills. I had the pills in one hand and my phone in the other. I looked up what would happen if it didn't work. I had already taken some pills, and I had the rest of them in my hand. I was about to take them. But then I stopped. This peace came over me. This love came over me. Same peace comes over me at the altar. My mind just stopped. No thought went through my head. That was God. He stopped me, and He saved me. The lukewarm, Christian aesthetic, sinful, and unworthy girl. Jesus saved me. I got up and told my family about everything that happened. I remember the pain, but peace God filled me with. I let God take over my life. I started healing, reading my Bible, and praying every day, and I still do. Instead of going to the world for healing, Jesus came to me, and I went to Him. School started, but I still wasn't fully healed. I got back into a relationship with the same person before. I prayed and prayed the removal prayer, but it didn't work. Little did I know God was calling me to plant a seed and share His word to that person and many others. And God planned for that person to be in a season of my life, and we broke up again, and the enemy really attacked me. I didn't want to go to God, but I did, and I got depressed and started getting bad panic and anxiety attacks. I hated school, and I fell back into self-harm again, the worst I've ever done it. The enemy thought he had authority over me, but didn't. God reminded me of how He saved me on June 29th. He brought me into a new season of life when I thought I wouldn't be able to survive again. But God reminded me of how He saved me, the girl who thought her life wasn't worth living for. Through the battles I've faced, the new seasons I've gone through, God never left my side. Through the nights I was alone, I never was. My testimony shows how God always shows up. He never stops fighting for you and is always there. I look back at my old life, and I see how God has changed me, how I've been born again through Jesus. I thought my life had to be perfect to live and go to God. I'm not perfect here today, but I am changed. Jesus changed me. My life didn't end on June 29, 2025, but my life began that day. And I'm here today to testify about what he's done and continues to do for me.
Amen.